My name is Webster. I am the Homeless Outreach Specialist for Lincoln Public Schools, and I have been with LPS since 2009. My position is actually it's a position that we created. Prior to this, I personally was a street outreach worker, which amounts to very meat and potatoes type outreach. That's crawling under the bridges and looking for homeless people, hanging out in homeless camps, delivering food baskets, and helping with shelter and helping with youth in crisis. When the stimulus money came available in 2009, I actually went to my now boss, Josh Kramer, who is the supervisor of federal programs, and within about an hour and a half, we wrote a grant on legal pads, and Josh, being the grant wizard that he is, he was able to format it in such a way that we got that grant, and since then we've been rolling pretty hard. So we're going on year 3 of this program. Last year, we accounted for 535 homeless youth. That's what we accounted for. Is there more? Absolutely. Like I said, our definition of homeless is anybody lacking a fixed, regular, or adequate nighttime residence. The people in my office, I sound like a broken record because I get anybody from school administrators to folks in the community to people in the community, meaning people that deal with the homeless or deal with youth. They quite often call and say, well, is this person homeless? Like I say, once again, that definition of homelessness are folks who are living in hotels, our kids who are living in, for instance, group homes or the emergency shelter, our youth who are living in places like People City Mission, Friendship Home, those types of shelters. And we also have, like I say, we have youth families living out of cars, living in tents. Tonight you're going to have families who are living outside. So. A good example is recently, and I think I talked with you guys, the group, when I came in last time. There was a young man recently who became homeless. They found him with his mom, and he was taken away from his mom's custody. She had like 32 cats. They were living in a hotel. Very bad situation, and he was taken out. Well, this kid, he's a bigger kid. And the clothes that he had on when he went to North Star, they said he reeked so bad like cat urine, the woman could hardly sit in the same office with him. So he was put into different kind of custody. Once again, that's considered homeless because he's away from his guardian. And the folks who we went with, like I said, it was one of those deals where they needed stuff now. So they got a hold of me. So what we ended up doing was using Target gift cards. We took money from that fund, took the Target gift cards. I personally took this youth shopping. Got him some new clothes, got him some backpack and some different school items and whatnot. It was without that money, we wouldn't be able to do that because, like I said, basically everything he had, we had to all throw it away. So there's an emergency situation where we were able to access that money that if it had not been there, I don't know what we'd have done. When we run out, it's empty. And since I've been here, that's happened a couple times. Luckily, our churches and groups like the Realtors Association, like what you folks are doing right now, I know you've never done it before, but what you're doing now, this replenishes it. But the deal is it's very simple. When folks don't donate, there's nothing there. Because like I said, the federal money that we use is for instance, transportation and things of that nature that we have to, by law, provide for our homeless kids. We don't have to, by law, provide them backpacks. We don't have to provide them clothes and stuff. This what you folks are doing now, the money that you take is for when we have an emergency situation and need to help people in that way. It's a very good question. I'm glad you asked that because I make it very explicitly clear, because when people do, when we've had church groups and other folks want to donate, it's very specific what folks have to do. You have to write, for instance, if you personally wanted to write a check, you would write a check to the Lincoln Public Schools Foundation, and then in the memo part put Homeless Fund. And so that's how we do that. It's very specifically done that it goes into that, and we have, they have it set aside. Like I said, I work in the federal programs, and they have an account of how much money is in there. And like I said, usually it's either going to be me or one of my bosses who's going to access it. Anything that we access, you can talk to Foundation. The receipts get right back to them because I say transparency and accountability is huge when it comes to this kind of thing, because if people are going to give us money to work with our kids and our families, I want everyone to know that it's being used directly, specifically for those youth and what it's going for. So. I will just say this, and I was just talking to a group of kids in the Northeast, and there's the sad reality is that the homeless population, some of it's because we're doing a better job counting them. It's on the rise, and like I said, I seen the bubble burst. I was in the early 2000s. You've seen those families who were on the cusp of falling into poverty and homelessness, and now they're there. And so we've got a lot more people and a lot less resources, and that's a sad reality. The good part is we have a very giving, very generous community. I seen it with I talked about to the Realtors Association when I came to you guys' meeting. The Jones family, for instance, they were a family that became homeless, and due to help and donations from the community, we were able to get them housed. If it was not for the community's help, I don't know what we'd have done. So we are in a rough economic time. I know that I keep hearing on the news that it's getting better, but in my world I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing far more families, far more need, and a lot less resources. The positive to this is we have some very resilient families, we have some very resilient and tough kids, and we have folks like you people who are willing to help us out. And yeah, so things are not looking great, but luckily I'm very proud of the community that I come from, and I'm proud to be part of the homeless coalition that we have in this community, because we got a lot of good people working very hard to combat these problems. So.